It takes 5.
Why was I feeling dizzy?
You were feeling dizzy because you had too much oxygen and nitrogen in your brain that you were not used to.
Can you explain that like you did the first time? Don't cheat me, man.
It takes 5 to 7 seconds for the time that the oxygen that you breathe in to reach your brain. Goes into your lungs. You've got air sacs. You've got microscopic alveoli that are absorbing the oxygen nitrogen molecules that are in your air sacs. Absorbed in the capillaries. Those veins, all veins from your lungs, go to your upper and left and right atrium of your heart, pumps the fresh oxygenated blood through your lower left and right ventricles, through arteries. Veins in, arteries out, going all to your organs, your muscles, and your brain. And it takes about 5 to 7 seconds by the time it reaches your brain.
And who are you and why should I listen to you?
Well, I'm Darin Anderson. I've been spearfishing here at this spot for the last 5 years. And first 2 years of it, I went and got my commercial license with the Department of Aquatic Resources 5 years ago. And for 2 years, all I did was spear the fish and then sell them at the fish market. And during that time, to learn the freediving and being taught by my mentor, who was able to show me how to hold my breath and the breathing techniques. That's what we're going to go over right now. So the thing that we just did, we just breathed in once, and then you held it for how long? A minute?
Minute 40.
A minute 43.
Oh, really?
Short of minute 45. Yep.
Damn.
Minute 43. And that was just with one breath. So what I'd like you to do now is to take a huge deep breath in, just like you did, and then exhale out so I can hear how much volume is going in. So in, Kip.
All right.
In. Good. Now out. Good. I'll do the same thing. Fair enough?
Yeah, it's pretty fair.
Okay, now watch. There, I just filled up my lower half of my lungs, now the top half.
Hey, that's a little longer.
Uh-huh.
Did the shades help you, or is that all your abs?
So when the first thing that I do is I blow out and exhale, because we pretty much are only using the top half, top third of our lungs all the time. Shallow breath. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So what I do, the first thing I do 3 steps in a freediving breath, and then I do 3 additional steps on the 3. ABC, ABC, ABC. The first thing that I do is I do my exhale. So I do A, I blow out of my mouth because I'm always freediving. I've got my snorkel, so I breathe out of my mouth. That's A. B, I tighten my abdomen muscles, which tightens my diaphragm, which tightens my lungs, which tightens the air in my lungs, squeezes it out. And then C, I bend over and that squeezes the remaining air out of the bottom of the lungs. So in unison, I'll do it like this. Now I'm 100% exhaled. Now I'm able to do step number 2, which is A, relax my stomach. B, pooch out my stomach. Because if I pooch out my stomach, that's the name of the game here. Because you notice I had a lot more air volume. Our diaphragm is attached to the bottom of the lungs. When it contracts, it pulls our lungs down, and that's what creates a vacuum. It's going to fill up until it reaches its full potential or until it reaches resistance. And for us, it's always hitting resistance, which is the back of our abdomen muscles. And if I have excess body fat on the outside, that's just putting more pressure on my stomach muscles, as well as less room in my cavity here in my torso, in order to have room for my lungs to expand. So in order to overcome that resistance, what I do is I take my voluntary muscles, which is my stomach muscles, after I relax them, and I pooch out my beer belly.
Whoa.
When I pooch that out,
that's quite a pooch you got there, brother.
I'm literally doing, see, inside the cavity, if I breathe in like right now, it's like that's about all the air I'm able to get, and all I did is just filled up my top with my lungs. Like I can't breathe anymore. But if I start with the bottom first by now I'm able to fill up all my bottom of my half of my lungs. Now the top half. That's why I push out my stomach muscles, because all it does is it gives more room for my air in the lungs to be, for my lungs to be filled up with more air.
That makes sense to me.
So the first step is A, blow out, B, tighten abdomen, C, bend over.
At some point there's a relaxation phase though, right?
Sure. And then the second step I do is relax my stomach, pooch out my stomach, and suck in air. And I pretty much do it simultaneously. I breathe in until I can't breathe anymore. You notice I'm still bent over my torso. I'm sort of folding my lungs. I force the air into the bottom half of my lungs. So now, once I fill that up, then and only then am I ready to do step number 3. So I will fill up my bottom of my lungs. Now, the step number 3 would be A, continue to suck in air through my mouth. B, straighten out my torso. And C, pull my shoulders back. When I pull my shoulders back, I'm doing the same thing that I did in step 1, where my diaphragm, when that pulls down, it's the same thing that my shoulders do to my lungs on the top. When I pull back, it pulls my lungs up, and that creates more vacuum. And you'll be able to hear that difference right now. I'll do it a couple times, all 3 steps in unison. Could you hear that difference right there?
Yeah, for sure.
So that will make a huge difference right there. So that's the correct way of doing a freediving breath.
Beautiful, man. Thank you for that. Now I can go home and write it down and take notes and study and hone my skills.
That story that I left off at with the 2 young men from Washington who just graduated, they were both 18, 19.
Yeah.
And they came to my table a year and a half ago, I guess, and said, wow, spearfishing, wow, we're interested in that. And we started doing small talk, and I said, wow, there's a lot of Asian girls here. How do you pick up these girls? I said, dude, I don't teach how to pick up chicks. I just teach spearfishing and freediving. We went out spearfishing and freediving. The longest that they were able to hold their breath after the freediving lesson was 1:15. They started out with like 35 seconds.
Yeah.
One was maybe 40, so we got increased. So 1:15 was the most they were able to do. Well, 2 nights later, they come back to my table in Waikiki, and this time they got 2 honeys on their arms. And they said, Darin, you got to tell these girls what we're excited about. See, they had them because they were excited about something. They were totally passionate with the spearfishing. And then what they said to me is, they said the other day, we were in the hotel, nothing was on TV, we're bored, what should we do? Hey, let's practice the freediving.
I hate when I'm in Hawaii and there's just no good movies on. Nothing bums me out like not having my HBO on demand in Hawaii. I'm so tired of it.
So they were in their element, they were relaxed, they didn't have anxiety, and they both were able to hold their breath for 2.5 minutes. They got their breath up to.
That's good.
Because they followed the technique, and they understood it, so they were relaxed. So the more you do it, the better you get.
Like anything else, weird.
What you did. This is what impresses what you did.
I'm gonna cut off here because I don't want you to inflate my ego on video.